Have a dish for you. We're going to make apple spiced pork tenderloin.
And we're doing that with Cindy Barberi from Cindy's Table. Cindy, nice to have you back.
So great to be here. And I'm hosting Thanksgiving, so I'm very excited.
Oh, see, but that you love to
I
cook.
do, I
do. And if you want to give everybody your home address so they can enjoy some of this food with you, that would be nice.
My
That would be
passion
great.
is
Yes,
eating. So.
Exactly. Well, we're going to make a lot of food for you all to eat. So I'm doing my apple spiced pork tenderloin, and it smells so great in here already. So we're going to start by spicing up our pork tenderloin. All I did was get a pork tenderloin at the grocery store and slice it up.
The little medallions.
Nice and easy, into the little medallion. So, Seth, we need 2 teaspoons of ginger and cinnamon. And then, Ashley, we just need about a half a teaspoon of nutmeg. That's nutmeg in there.
Okay.
And while you do that, I will just add some salt. So we're just going to season our pork with salt and pepper.
All right.
So you can actually do this the night before, because the more the seasoning stays on the pork, the more those flavors will really enhance when we cook it.
Is there an optimal amount of time to season something? Is there a peak at which it starts getting not good?
Well, it depends on what you're seasoning with.
Okay.
So the pork, you could do the night before or the morning of. If you're using citrus, it's a shorter time. So it really depends on what you're doing. We're just using dry ingredients, so the morning before you go to work, season it, go home, and you're going to see how quickly this dish comes together.
Oh, that's
so
good news.
Ashley, if you just want to coat
Yep.
the pork with
What's
the
the easiest way?
You know, whatever you want.
Should I use my fingers?
You can use your fingers. You
Okay.
can,
Oh,
can
get
use
in
your,
there. I see.
Yeah,
Whatever
I
you want.
put-
I'm just going to get the
And just-
pan nice and warm.
Do you want both sides or just one
Both
side?
sides would be perfect.
I was
if
going
we
to
could
put
do
it all
both
in
sides.
here
You're
and toss it.
And then you can just, pat it down so it stays nice and... Now, I like to add a little bit of butter and olive oil because it really gets that pork nice and crispy.
You're not going to hear me complaining.
Good. Okay,
Yeah,
so...
no, me
Oh,
either.
shucks. Pork and olive oil.
Butter.
And
Butter and olive oil. So you want the pan to get nice and hot because we want to have that nice sear. This cooks really fast because they're nice and small. So I'll just start doing this with you.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I'll just help you out
Are you
here.
cringing with how I'm doing this?
No, it's lovely.
Inside, she's furious.
This
No,
is
I'm
why
not. This is great. So I'm
when I
just gonna
cook at home, there's no TVs.
I'm just going to add the pork
No one's
into the nice
judging
hot
me.
pan. We're not judging you at all, Ashley. You're doing a great job. So we're also going to need some apples. So Seth, if you want to start slicing up the apples, just cut it right in half. I have a nice sharp chef's knife here.
Thank you.
Cut it in half, and then we're just going to cut it into slices. And we don't need it right now, but we can just get that going.
Oh,
So
this
you
smells
did
nice.
Doesn't it
Whatever's
smell nice?
going on
Yeah,
here.
so we're just going to let that sear for about a couple of minutes on each side. Nice and easy.
Okay.
Get this pan out of the way.
And yeah, we don't have to cook it all the way through because pork these days, it doesn't have to.
What we like to do is we want to get that sear on both ends, so that's why we want it nice and hot, and then when we flip it over, we'll have nice little crusty edges, which I like, and the seasoning will just really go through it so nicely. So
Me too. I like that when it gets nice and crispy.
exactly. So I'm just gonna flip them over. Not quite hot enough yet. So then after we get those going, we're gonna add in, we have some shallots. So this is what a shallot looks like when you're at the grocery store. We already minced it up for you, so it's already done. Then we're gonna add in some apple cider and honey. So that's really all the ingredients for this. It's a one-pot dish, nice and easy. If you prep this in the morning before you go to work, you can have this on the table within 15 minutes.
Now, how close to done with the pork cooking should everything be before we start putting the shallots and all that stuff in?
So after I sear it on both sides, it'll be more than halfway done. So by the time we get the apples in and all the other ingredients.
So more or less, once we flip it, is that when we start putting everything in?
Exactly. Once we flip it, we can start putting the apples in. So how about if I flip it?
And I'll start
Looking
putting
And
things
you
in?
can start
Cindy.
putting the apples in. Doesn't it look good?
Oh, yeah.
Can't you smell that cinnamon, the nutmeg, the ginger?
I'm throwing all these apple slices
Apples in, and
Wait,
then-
is this okay?
Yeah, we won't use that one.
Okay. I'll take
Oh,
this
wait,
one
they're
out
all
too,
kind
then.
of.
You know,
No.
you can actually just slice
Seth,
it right off.
Seth
Cut
likes
around it.
the
Perfect.
rustic look.
And then we're also going to add in the shallots. So I'm going to do that right now too. Get the shallots in there cooking.
All right.
So that's perfect. That's fine.
This is Seth left his mark.
It all
like a
tastes
little-
like a
the
weird-
same.
It's a happy apple.
Oh, I didn't go to your house and critique
not
your apple cutting abilities.
You're
They're
doing
great.
a great
I'd
job.
say you made your mark.
So, you know what we'll do? We will let this saute for a little bit, simmer up, and we'll check back in with you in a little bit.
Sounds good.
All right, in the meantime.
We are back in the kitchen with Cindy Barberi from Cindy's Table, and we're finishing up this apple spice pork tenderloin, which smells absolutely amazing.
It's so easy. So all I added in was the apple cider. Now we just need to add in some honey.
How much honey,
Just about
Cindy?
2 tablespoons of honey.
About
This
a-
goes so well with the apple cider.
1, 2.
2, perfect. So we'll just like stir that around.
How big are your tablespoons at home?
They're big. So here,
I like sweet.
I'll plate some up. So You can taste it because it tastes really good.
Now, if people missed it earlier when we were constructing this dish, we made a rub, a rub of different spices. What were they?
Right, we had ginger, cinnamon, and we had some nutmeg in there. And then we added shallots, apple cider, some honey. We could top it with some parsley if we want, but here's a little taste. I mean, taste the sauce itself is just so amazing and so delicious.
Sauce
And-
first.
Yes, try the sauce.
Great.
I
Ashley,
mean,
wants
isn't
to have
that
some
great with the
sauce?
Yes.
shallots and the apple cider?
And I noticed, see, if we can get a cross section of the pork. It's a little bit pink, but that's good. That's okay.
Right. That's
you can
okay.
cook pork to what, like a medium rare?
A
or something
medium
like
rare
that?
is fine. And these have been cooking for about 15 minutes, so they're done perfectly. The apples are just perfect. They're not too soft and they're not crispy yet, so they're just a perfect texture to go so well with the pork. And I think all these ingredients together really do yell holiday and fall.
It's a harvest meal.
It's yelling.
It is.
It's yelling holiday
It
in my
is.
mouth.
And it just makes the whole kitchen smell so great. So when your guests walk in, they're so
That's
excited.
true. And if only this was an air freshener option. If you could get it as air
That would be
freshener.
so
Apple
nice, wouldn't
spice
it?
pork.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thanks for
stopping
having
by.
me
This is
here.
If you
so
want this
good.
Oh,
recipe,
good.
So good.
mymassappeal.com. And now for some